Hi, I'm Adam Stedman reading for Edward and Robert. This is Edward Side 1. Miss Dashwood, I fear I have not yet had a proper occasion to express to you, personally, my very sincere condolences on the loss of your father.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Miss Dashwood, I hope that my presence here has not caused you any additional distress in this sad time. My sister, I confess, I was not entirely informed of all the particulars before my visit.
Oh, no, you needn't apologize, Mr. Ferrars. In fact, I must thank you. My mother said only yesterday that your presence at Norland is a comfort, and I am very grateful for anything that raises her spirits.
I am pleased that your mother is pleased. That is, might I inquire after Mrs. Dashwood?
It is rather too early to think of any moderation in grief. My father's death, it is very difficult.
I am sure that you must be a great comfort to her.
I attempt to be. I'm writing to our cousin, Sir John Middleton. He may have a cottage available for us in Devonshire. The rent is uncommonly moderate.
I imagine it must be very difficult to leave your home.
Yes, we have been very happy here. Oh, I must not smudge this.
Miss Dashwood, please forgive me. I fear I did not mean to upset you.
Mr. Ferrars, I cannot use this.
Oh, Miss Dashwood, I beg your pardon.
No, it's very
this
kind.
is inexcusable. I'm very sorry.
Spirit.
This is Edward Side 2. I think that I may defy many months to produce any good to me. What is a man, if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed, a beast no more? That's from Hamlet, Marianne, but perhaps you didn't recognize it because my delivery is so improved. Forgive me if I am very saucy.
I love to be reminded of the past, Edward, and you will never offend me by talking of it.
And do you feel so strongly about Hamlet's beating heart as you once did?
At my time of life, opinions are fixed. It is not likely that I should now ever change them. Marianne is as steadfast as ever.
She's only grown a little more grave.
Nay, Edward, you need not reproach me. You are not very gay yourself.
No, I suppose not.
But worse, you are reserved.
Reserved?
Yes, very.
What do you mean?
Marianne thinks everybody reserved is not quite so open as she is. And here we are at last. Well, Edward, I suppose we must bid you adieu. Do you know when you may return?
I cannot say.
Please come again soon, Edward. Please.
Miss Dashwood. This is Robert's side. Miss Dashwood, Robert Ferrars, you reside in Devonshire, I am told? In a cottage?
We do.
For my own part, I am excessively fond of a cottage. There is always so much elegance in a cottage. If I had any money to spare, I should build a cottage and have all my friends visit me in my cottage. I advise everybody to build a cottage. My intimate friend Lord Courtland of the Lancashire Courtlands came to me the other day and laid before me 3 different architectural schemes. Which one should I build, Robbie? Said he. My dear Courtland, said I, throwing them all directly into the fire. Do not build any of these deplorable shacks, but by all means build a cottage, man, a cottage! And that was the end of that.
Indeed.
And you, Miss Steele, do you live in a cottage?
I do not.
More's the pity. Edward's callback side. With this regard, their currents turn away.
Edward, Shakespeare writes in rhythm, which matches precisely the beats of the human heart. If your heart also beats, which I presume it does,
yes,
then you cannot help but feel the impossible depth of all Hamlet's text. And thus the native hue of resolution is sickled over with the pale cast of thought.
With this regard, their currents turn away and lose the name of song.
Soft you now, the fair Ophelia. Marianne,
Soft dew now, the fair Ophelia.
Nymph in thy orisons.
Nymph in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Oh, Edward.
I'm sorry.
A noble effort. Why would you give him Hamlet to begin, Marianne? Nay, Mamma, if one is not to be animated by Hamlet. But I suppose we must allow for differences of taste.
In truth, you have done me a service. I may now tell my mother in all seriousness that I have no talent for public speaking.